Hey, welcome to we're going to call today a Monmouth Monday. It's just me. I'm flying solo again as Terry is on the road again, traveling. Terry, except it's traveling Terry and Tom. They're on their way to Saratoga. I will catch up with them a little bit later on this week, about Friday. Saturday, I should make it out to the New York track. But Terry and Tom today, if you are in the Thistledown area, you can probably catch up with Terry and Tom today at Thistledown. You'll see them there probably just making it rain with all their winning bets at Thistledown today. So if you're out at Thistledown, make sure you stop by. Look for Terry and Tom. Hopefully they're sporting their horse racing today gear. You won't miss them. Go say hi. Today we're going to do Monmouth Park. The weather at Monmouth Park today is supposed to be beautiful. You know, usually on Mondays we do parks. I didn't realize that they were on break today. So no parks today, although there is a park presence at Monmouth Park today. As you can see here, the weather looks really nice. It's supposed to be 91 degrees. It's a high today, sunny. So the track is fast. The turf is firm. I think I got most of the scratches in my work today because they just came out right before we were about to go on air. So I hopefully got those things corrected. So it only affected two of my picks, I think, on the day today. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the Monmouth card looks like today. Here are our picks. My picks, anyway, is Terry's not in. The races with the X on the left-hand side, those are the races where the scratches did impact my plays. Hopefully it doesn't impact the outcome now that we've got that corrected. Race number 1 at Monmouth is a 5.5 furlong allowance race for $12,500. And so far at the Monmouth meet, they have run 32 races at 5.5 furlongs, 24 of which were won by speed. 10 of the 32 led from wire to wire. As far as post position biases are concerned, 1 through 3 have played fair. You do get a small bonus from 4 through 7. And so far, there have been no winners from 8 and out. And of course, we have our horse trader today for race number 1. This E stands for early pace, meaning these horses have won when they've gotten the lead. That's the only way they've won, at least recently. EP are horses that can get on the lead and win or can pressure the lead and win. P horses are just those that can pressure. They get to the lead, they tend to fade. If they get too far back, they can't catch up, so they have to be in their comfort zone. Pressure closers are horses that can pressure or close. And then, of course, closers are horses that have only won from off the pace. The horses that are squared means that they should get a pace that they're comfortable with, which has led to a winning effort previously. So the 5 should be on the lead. The 1 and the 4 should be close behind. The 7 horse should be a closer. And as you notice, there's a designation here for LP1, meaning the 7 horse has the most late pace and the 6 horse has the second most late pace. That's how the field breaks down in terms of the comfort zone running style they need to get to the winner's circle. And I think the 3 horse is going to open up the card. We don't believe her. Well, hopefully we do believe in her today, making the winner's circle in the opener at Monmouth Park. He's run there 6 times, has 3 wins, 2 seconds, so clearly looks like a horse for the course. Also one that likes the distance, running 8 times, 4 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. Horse is dropping off a win, and which trainer Juan Eliva has won 2 out of 3 that way. And this horse did run much better pace figures for the first quarter and half mile last time out. Number 1, Bahamian Moon, second choice in race number 1. This one ran some quicker fractions in her last race, usually rebounds after regressing a little bit like she did last time out. Number 6, Capiturini, I hope I got that right, has some of the most late pace in the field for this crew. Second off the claim is a 20% winner for trainer Jerry Hollendorfer. And remember, he used to do exceptionally well back in the days in California before he got Das Boot. And then finally, the 4 horse was my fourth choice in here for Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera, but that horse is scratched. So she's a black belt, scratches up into the 4th spot in that opening race at Monmouth Park today. Race number 2 at Monmouth Park. This one is a 6 furlong affair. It is on the main track, claiming $30,000 for a purse of $32,000. And this is one of those races where it scratched. The last race I think I messed up that last race here, folks. I think race number 1. Hold on a second. Let me just go back real quick. Race 1 is, yes, race 1 is the one with the scratch, not race 2. So hold on a second. So I apologize for that. Messing up my own self. That's a hell of a way to start the day, right? All right. So race 2, as I mentioned, 6 furlongs. Looking at 6 furlongs at the Monmouth Park. So far, they have run 111 races, 83 of which were won by speed. 33 went wire to wire. There is a small rail penalty. 2 through 7 have played fair with outside in bias. In other words, the farther you get from the 2 into the 2, the little better the win percentages go. And if you wear an 8 or out, there is a little bit below par penalty. So in race 2, let me just double check to make sure there are no scratches in race 2 affecting my picks, and there are not. So race number 2, again, we have our horse trader for race number 2, and we find our first left arrow horse of the day. This is the 2 horse. What a left arrow horse means is this is a horse, the 2 horse, that usually is a pressure closer, so can get to the, likes to follow the leader or get a little bit back and close if the pace is too hot. And in this case, the 2 horse has a left arrow, meaning its early pace figure should put it amongst the front runners. And then with this late pace 1, meaning the horse has the most late pace in the field, that means this horse should have a pretty good shot to have it right off the lead trip and then find its way home with a late kick. So that would be the winning strategy for the 2 horse. And not coincidentally, the 2 horse is my top choice in race number 2. That is Our Funny Business. As I mentioned, left arrow horse, that should be a co-pilot and has the most late pace in the field. Number 1 is the second choice in race number 2, Save the Flag. Save the Flag tied for the top last race speed figure last time out. Takes a minor dip in class here and did run a little bit faster fractions in her last. Number 6, the third choice, is Curtin. This one could be the pace setter. Ran much better times in her last effort, and the resume says it's possible for her to improve in the second start off the bench. Number 4, She's Peachy Keen is the final choice, does ship in from Tampa. And my recollection is that that Tampa Monmouth Park connection is one that tends to perform fairly well. Run well at Tampa, you run well at Monmouth. You run well at Monmouth, you run well at Tampa. And the workouts have been really fast for She's Peachy Keen, suggesting that she will indeed like the transition from one short track to the other short track. Speaking of transitions, tonight I'm going to transition back into my hosting role at Horse Center with Sean, which will start at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tonight we have a special guest, Lindy Wade, who is just a couple of races away from the 15th 100 career win. So if you have any questions for Lindy, please make sure you tune in to Sean and I on Horse Center at 8 p.m. There's no way in the world I'll be able to my back won't be as sore as Jamie's, because when she's on the show, she just really sore back from carrying the weight, so to speak. And so Jamie did a fantastic job last week. We 100% appreciate it. And I think she's just going to get better and better and better. It's a star, as they say, on the rise. Looking forward to meeting Lindy. And then, of course, if you have any questions, make sure you tune in. The best way to make sure that you can do that is while you're here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Horse Race Today. Horse Race Today, and that is our handle everywhere. All right, so on to race number 3 at Monmouth Park. Again, this is a 6 furlong race. It's an allowance for $5,000 for a purse of $25,000. 6 furlongs again, 111 races. A great majority of which won by horses with a bunch of early pace. 33 went wire to wire. We have a small rail penalty. 2 through 7 play fair. Again, 7's a little bit better than 2. And 8 and out take a little bit of a penalty. So if we pull up our pace worksheet, we'll find here that there are a couple horses, only 2 in this field, that probably look like they're going to get really comfortable paces. That is the 2 horse and the 3 horse. The 3 horse carrying the second best late pace figures in the group, only behind the 6 horse. So this race, I don't think the 1 or the 7 are likely to get the lead. That's why the 2 and the 3 are boxed. But one of them may get the lead. Could be uncomfortable for them on the front, maybe a little bit too quick. We'll find out how that plays out as the race goes on. For me, in race number 3, we find my long shot of the day. and that is the 7 horse in here. That's Marvin. Marvin won his last with by a lot with a peak number, meaning it was the highest speed figure in its current cycle. But the last time he popped a big number like that, he followed it up with an even better race. The last race was the top last race speed figure. First off the claim today for trainer Bruno Tessore, who wins at 28% the first time around the track with the horse he's just claimed. Sneakiness ships in from Parks, but at Monmouth has 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third in 5 races. At the distance, also out 16 times, 4 wins, 4 seconds, and a handful of thirds. With trainer Stephen Hamilton is training this horse for the first time, and he's 0 for 19 the first time around the track with a new trainee. Franz Warrior has the best combination of early pace and late pace in race number 3. Winner of 10 of 22 at the distance, but has been a Denzel Washington horse at Monmouth Park, meaning spending a lot of time in the barbershop, has not gotten a haircut yet. 9 times out, 3 wins and 3 seconds and 3/3, 0 wins. So looking for its first trip to the winner's circle at Monmouth Park today. And then finally, number 1, Hushian. Just missed in her last with faster fractions and ran better at the second half of the race. So this is a horse that should be on the upswing in race number 3 at Monmouth Park today. Race 4 at Monmouth Park. This one I think goes back to 5.5 furlongs. No, this one's 5 furlongs on the turf, claiming $12,500. At Monmouth Park, they've run 18 races on the turf at 5 furlongs, these short sprints. Almost all of them, 15 of which were won by horses that were in the first 3 at the first call. 12 of the 18, so 2/3 managed to take the field from gate to wire. There is an inside-out bias here. The rail is a little bit better than the 2 and the 3. 4 through 7 actually play kind of fair. And 8 and out, you do get a penalty. And this race is my box it up in here. And a box it up is when we take 4 horses, put them together in a $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. Normally, my good friend Terry is here. And this is a time where I catch a break, get a drink while Terry's doing some talking. But since I'm flying solo today, I don't have that opportunity. So I'm going to go with number 1, Odremark, maybe, yeah, speed horse that can also win from the back. On the rail, which, as we mentioned, is the good place to be, fits the track bias of early speed and on the rail. Trainer Jose Delgado wins 26% off the claim like today and 32% with claim repeaters. Number 4, second choice here, Grand Malbec, gets a weight break. First time gelded at 7 years old. Kind of interesting there. You would think by now they would have figured out this horse is one that either behaves or doesn't. But last time out, was better across the board, so had better 2, 4 furlong numbers as well as late pace numbers. And I think it's likely to show more in race 2 off the bench. Number 6 is First Navy Admiral. I expect this horse could be the front runner. Won the last wire to wire by 5 lengths with faster times at 5 and 5.5 furlongs by a second. And then a second, 1.2 seconds for the final time, which is pretty, if you think over 5 furlongs to improve by more than a second, that's what is that, about 5 lengths? So that's a big improvement. Number 7, Minnesota Lucky is the final choice here. I think this one could improve in the classic third start off the sidelines, but at Monmouth so far, 2 times out, 0 wins, 0 seconds, 0 thirds, and really not close in either of those 2 races. But we'll see if going sprint and then to a route strengthens those legs as the horse returns to a sprint today and has shown a little bit of early pace in those other 2 races. Race number 5 is race number 5. This is the one I think goes back to 5.5 furlongs. Yes, indeed, for claiming $7,500, a purse of 20 grand. And as we mentioned, at 5.5 furlongs, you want to be fast. 32 races, 24 won by horses, winning at the first call, second call, or third call. First call at first, second, or third. 10 of which went wire to wire. 1 through 3 play fair. Get a small bonus if you wear a 4 through 7. Race number 5. Let's pull up my pace worksheet for race number 5. We'll see here. We have a horse. And this one, this race was a bit in terms of handicapping, was a bit challenging for me because there are a couple things in here that I like to see that I usually want to put a horse in here. So you have the one horse here being one that has 2+ marks next to it. So we see that here. That means that horse has a 10-point early pace advantage over the rest of the field. So get out could be as much as 2 lengths ahead of the next closest horse, and it's going to be on the lead. But the problem is that horse tends to fade. But it's going to get a pace he likes, and it's going to get has an early pace advantage. We'll see if that plays out. Here, the 8 horse, again, another horse that should pressure the field, so maybe second or third, but does have a late pace advantage, so meaning it has a plus advantage of 5 points in those final strides. So if the 8 is hugging the leaders down the stretch, probably has more muscle than the rest to get to the finish line first. And as far as the picks are concerned, here you see, I'm going to go with the 5 horse as my top choice in race number 5. Shanghai Warrior is coming off a claiming win. Trainer Derek Ryan has won 9 out of 20 times he stayed in the claiming ranks following a win. So that's a 45% win rate. So he's pretty good at, reading those condition books and finding the best conditions for his horses. Number 7, Hoboken Jack ships in from Aqueduct. So a bit of a track dropper here, dropping also multiple classes for trainer Danny Gargan, who's won 4 out of 10 when he drops more than 2 classes. And this one's got some decent works getting ready for its return to work. Number 3, I Make the Rules, which indeed I do around here. Should challenge for the lead early. It appears to have the most staying power of the early speed types. And then finally, number 2, Mr. Extension, tied for the top last race speed figure, was better in the second half of the last race. And I'm really concerned about that 8 horse with the top late pace figures and the 1 with the early pace figures getting the lead. But I think the 8 might be too far behind, and the 1 tends to struggle when it's pressured. But if he does get off to a 2-length lead, I'm going to be really salty for not including him in my picks because it's there. But just the analysis says when speed and fade, and I'm a little bit concerned about that fade. Normally when Terry's here, we do the hot dog pick 4 in the first early pick 4. But today I'm going to go ahead and go with the prime rib pick 4 for me in race numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. Race 5 being what I call the race of death, which is the length. It's the race that finishes the early pick 4 and starts the late pick 4. So if you don't catch the winner there, both tickets die. That's not going to be the case today. We're going to catch the winner on both sides and hopefully have a chance to collect both ways. And here I'm going to go 4, 4, 3, 5, 4 to do the early pick 4. Speaking of sides, right? Professor Sides has been doing a fantastic job for us here. Horse racing today. If you like baseball, Professor Sides has his play of the day over at Picks with the Professor. It's actual statistics professor, which is good. And he's actually really good at what he does with baseball. You can see here, since he's put these play of the day up, he's 51 wins, 28 losses, 2 ties, has a 20-unit profit. So if you're betting $100, that's 20 times that. So you'd be up $2,000. Not bad. 21.6% ROI. Well, it wouldn't really be up $2,000, but he's actually doing pretty good. So you want to check that out. But today, his play of the day is on this day, August the 8th, 2022. So 8822. He likes the Orioles, getting plus 124. So he's taking the underdog here. And real quick trivia: Terry and Tom are going to be at Saratoga this Thursday. I will join them Friday. But because I'm not there on Thursday, they have an open spot in the grandstands, which includes lunch. If you would like to join Terry and Tom, if you're at Saratoga on Thursday for lunch, I'm Terry and Tom. I have a trivia question for you today. This day on History of Baseball, 8-8. What is the most significant thing as far as I am concerned? And a little bit of hint, it's Chicago related. This day in Chicago Cubs baseball history, I'll even give you another hint. What was the single most significant thing that happened on August 8th for the Chicago Cubs in their history? Go ahead and either DM or go ahead and tweet at us at Horse Race Today. Put it on Facebook at Horse Race Today or on Instagram at Horse Race Today. Our Swiss Army Sean will keep track of it. And the first person to put the right answer up that's going to be at Saratoga will join Terry and Tom for lunch on Thursday on horseracingtoday.com. Net's dime. How about that? Winning bets and free food. You can't beat that combination ever. So race number 6 at Monmouth Park is 5 furlongs on the turf. It's a claiming $20,000 race. It's the first time today I think we've seen 5 furlongs on the turf. Maybe not. But 5 furlongs on the turf is, so far, they've run 18 races. No, we've talked about this already. 15 won by speed, 12 of which went wire to wire. There is an inside-out bias, so the closer you are to the rail, the better you're off. So be inside, be fast, be the winner is the way that looks to me. If we see the race worksheet, we got all kinds of squares going on here. This is one of those races where I think the 9 got in. I do think there's a scratch here, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me look at race number 6 real quick. I'm almost positive the 9 got in. Yes. The 4 horses scratched, so let me make a mark of that. The 4 horses out, as is the 6 horse being out. That means the 9, the AE, indeed gets into this spot. So this is another race that had some scratches on there. So let me go ahead and pull this up in a second. But you see here we have the 2 horse being one that has a plus mark, meaning the 2 horse does have a 5-point early pace advantage. So it's likely to be on the lead, likely to have as much as a 1-length lead at the opening call. The 9 horse also should get the also eligible, who did scratch into the race, also should get a pace that it's comfortable with. Probably hug the 2, does have the best late pace numbers in the field. So if the 2 and the 9 are slugging it out in the lane, I would think that the 9 horse probably has the best chance to pull that off. And let's see how we would indeed rank those horses in race number 6. Let me put this on the screen so I have an idea where race number 6 is when I'm going through the times. I am going to go ahead with that 9 horse, the also eligible. Pardsy getting in was the top choice, as I mentioned, as he gets in. Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera hit at an astounding, I think like 33, 34%, something like that, and still managed to generate a positive ROI. Hard to imagine that a combination that's that effective still winning at that rate, still a profitable way to bet. And also has the best, as I mentioned, early and late pace combination in the field. The 7, the Predicament, sounds like a Jersey Shore character for sure. Missed as the favorite in his last. Trainer Andrew Simoff rebounds at a whopping 35% the next time around the track with a beaten favorite. Switches to a higher win rate jockey and Daniel Centano. Maybe a horse that's better in its second start off the break. Sometimes it improves in the second start. Sometimes it does not. For those backing the 7, they're hoping today is one of those days. 2 horse Stanhope, as I mentioned, does have a little bit of an early pace advantage when the gates open. Is a track dropper from the Naira circuit and gets a weight break in here. And then finally, Beach Warrior was better fractions last out and showed even more strength at the end of the race. Race number 7 is my best bet of the day. But before we get on to my best bet, despite Terry's absence, we still have Terry's best bet of the day. Whether Terry's sleet, snow, or rain, or travel across the East Coast over in Thistledown today, which is where, like in Cincinnati, I mean, it's around Cleveland, right? So if you're at Thistledowns, again, make sure you look for the horse racing today gear. You're likely to see Terry and Tom dressed in that gear today. Terry's best bet is going to be at Thistledown, not coincidentally. That's where he's at. So you know, if you see Terry and you know it's race number 4 at Thistledowns, he's going to be betting number 4, Pretty Pumpkin. Well bet, finished 3rd in his debut race, received the highest last race speed figure, and has a 5 furlong workout on the August the 1st. Number 5 will be his second choice, Bold and Bossy, so that'll be the backup for him in his exacta. Finished 3rd in the last race, has a good workout on July 30th. And then the horse to clean up his trifecta for race 4 at Thistledowns will be Purchase Point. Switches to a high percent winning jockey, should improve while returning to dirt, as his best dirt speed is the fastest among today's starters. And the jockey has been on fire in fuego in the last couple of days. It's always good to have a jockey who's on fire. For me, race number 7, as I mentioned, let me just make sure I'm right about this. Race 7, yes, indeed, is my best bet of the day. That is the 1 horse. The 1 horse. The horse's name is Pianzi. And again, if we look at the race pace setup, we'll see here that the 1 horse has he's a closer type, does have the best late pace numbers in the field. you have a 4-horse here. It was a Green Arrow horse. Again, the Green Arrow horses are horses that should have a pace that puts them a little bit closer to the front than the running style might suggest, which could put the 4 maybe on the lead. We will be competing with the 5 and the 6 in here, who should be right off the pace, running second or third. 6-horse having a little bit of late pace to boot. As I mentioned, I like the 1-horse in here. Pianzi? I don't know. Pansy's a whole different story, right? Pianzi is my best bet of the day at Monmouth Park. Won 3 of 7 at Monmouth for that strong combination of Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera. This one was much improved in the second half of its last race. At 6 furlongs, again, you do get a small rail penalty, so I'm playing against the bias here, but hopefully it's not a real big penalty, not a deal killer as far as I'm concerned. Number 2, Dr. Doyle, first off the claim for trainer Claudio Gonzalez. It's 27% winning angle for Claudio versus 22% overall. So when there's a training angle that outperforms the overall win rate, I consider that an alpha angle. It's an alpha angle for Claudio Gonzalez. Counterfeit currency. Hopefully we have a whole lot of that to bet with at Saratoga and nobody catches us. Just kidding. Anyway, won his last race big, I think about 4.5, 5 lengths. His 4th consecutive speed number increase in a row, 2 seconds faster than his previous Monmouth 6 furlong run. So that's what 10 lengths faster than the prior 6 furlong race, which is unbelievable. And then number 4, Pogi, a left arrow horse, as I mentioned, can win from the front, can win from the back. Early pace figures put him close to the lead in the money, 11 of 13 at the Jersey Shore track and 9 of 10 at the distance. And then the final race today it's only an 8-race card, which is kind of a relief because normally on Mondays when Terry and I are doing this, it's Parks, which can be anywhere from 11 to 12 races. This one is a new one for us. It's 1 mile and a 16th on the turf course. So far at 1 mile and a 16th, they've run a lot of these, 59 of them, 34 of which were won by horses that were first, second, or third at the first call. 14 of the 59 went wire to wire. So front end speed is important, but looks like tactical speed is probably the way to go. Inside 3 by, so if you wear a 1 or 2 or a 3, you have an advantage over everybody else. 4+, there is a penalty, but again, the closer you are to the rail, the better. So 4 is going to perform better than 5, than 6, and so on. So I'm going to start with, hold on, let me go over to here. Race number 8, almost forgot because this is so new still for me that I forget, even though it should by now be a regular part of the routine for me. But here we see the 9-horse again in race number 8. We do have some scratches, so let's designate those first. The 5-horse is one of those scratches. He is out of the race. So that means the 9 did get in, thankfully, because it's in. Oh, the 9 did not get in. So never mind. There is no 9. Surprisingly that it didn't get in. All right. So anyway, that does mess up my picks a little bit on the back end here. So there is no 9. So I'm going to go with the 4-horse as my top choice. With or without the 9, that is La Costa. I did make a check mark there. All right. So La Costa is my top pick in the last race. Tossed that last race out. Clipped heels, was DQ'd. In the race prior to that, was an easy winner at Monmouth. The first time out at the track, was the first time at the distance, first time at the surface. All of that. Made easy work at 1 mile and a 16th. So clipped heels, DQ'd, comes back, does another repeat performance where it gets to the lead, and hopefully takes them wire to wire to close out the show there. The second horse in that race is number 7. Novala is the top late pace horse in the field, taking a big drop in class after running the top last race speed figure. Really not all that far away from winning 5 races in a row. Number 3 is a Ring Thing. This one is better 4 and 6 furlong fractions in its last race, despite going a little bit longer. It is a Denzel Washington horse at the distance, 6 times, running at 1 mile and a 16th, 0 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. So still looking to collect that first title check at 1 and 16th miles on the grass. And then number 2, Natoma scratches in with the 9-horse, which was my original 4th pick there. Didn't really have much time to put a lot of notes in there because it literally scratched right as I was about to go live. So that's why a little bit confusion out of me, which horses were scratched and which ones were not. So race 8 is also the final pick for the day. I did my prime rib to open it up, and I have my hot dog pick for it to close it up. So I'm going to go 5, 7, 3 in the race of death. hoping that I can win the early pick 4, the prime rib pick 4. And then on the way back, we start off the hot dog pick 4. You can see in race number 6, the 9 is highlighted with a yellow square around it. And the 2, that meant that if the 9 horse didn't get in, then the 2 horse would take its place. So my hot dog pick 4 is 573 with the 9-7. You're not limited by budget. So if you want, put the 2 in there. The 1, the 5, the 6, and then the 4 in the 7 to close out the full card, close out the late pick 4 for me as my hot dog variety. If you're going to bet today over at Presque Isle Downs, which I think has a pretty good stakes race over there, and I think Terry and Tom, if I remember correctly, the road trip will take them to Presque Isle Downs tomorrow, if I remember correctly. So if you're at Presque Isle tomorrow, you can find Terry and Tom over there. Again, hopefully they're wearing the Horse Racing Today gear. If you want to join them in Horse Racing Today gear, just go over to horseracingtoday.net. While you're there, you'll see there's an HRT gear link up there. Please click on that. Get yourself and you'll see Terry in this one. See you in the winner's circle for sure. Maybe even this one. I'm going to be over there. I'm going to be sporting my 13 stuff, my good luck stuff on Saturday over at Saratoga when I'm there, because I have to wear a collared shirt on Friday because we're sitting in the grandstands on Friday. But Thursday was just Saturday, I guess, general admission for the 4-star Dave, which should be fun. And also today, if you're going to bet at Presque Isle Downs today, head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link here at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever it is that you're watching us in the description. Please click on that link, or you'll see links over at horseracingtoday.net so they know you're coming from us. You'll see Presque Isle Downs, free picks of the day. The 3 horse in race number 1, which is Keystone Hank, is a best bet of the day. So hopefully he and Pablo Morales will find their way into the circle for those of you who are playing at Presque Isle Downs. Again, you can catch those over at horseracingtoday.net. One more time, our full picks today, at least my full picks today, at Monmouth Park. My best bet is in race number 7. That's the 1 horse long shot in race number 3, the 7 horse. My box it up is in race number 4. Again, 4 horses where we put together a $1 exacta box, a 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. My prime rib pick 4 starts in race number 2. And then my hot dog pick 4, going to close the card with 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again, the 9 is in yellow and the 2 is in yellow because the 9 was also eligible. That did scratch into the race. So for me, purposes of my tickets, I just have the 9 in the 7 in race number 6. If you like the 2, don't be cheap like me. Maybe you might want to add it in there. I think that wraps it up for today. I don't think I forgot anything. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully back on schedule with Colonial Downs. I do think that that's the track that's running tomorrow. Wednesday, I will be doing Saratoga. Thursday, I'll be traveling. I'll be driving across the Interstate 90 from Chicago out to Saratoga Springs. Nice 12-hour ride. Look forward to seeing everybody out there at Saratoga on the weekend. Might stop at Buffalo along the way to watch a concert. If you're in the Buffalo area and you're going to go to the Metallica concert, go ahead and hit me up at gtsrichb@gmail.com. Maybe we'll get together a few minutes, say hello before the show. I got some friends who live out there too in Buffalo. You know who you are. If you by chance are watching this, hit me up at gtsrichb@gmail.com. I'd like to stop by and say hi. And then that wraps it up. So no matter what it is that you do today, whether you're going to bet at Monmouth, you're on the road with Terry and Tom, you're going to catch him at Thistledown, the 3 T's, see him tomorrow at Presque Isle Downs, whatever it is you're doing. We hope that your day is a fantastic Monday and that it ends up, as always, in one place and one place only. That's the winner's circle.